what's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is episode 55, and it is May 17th, 2014. I am once again Nemesis, and joining me is Alca7raz.
Hello.
As per usual. And yes, this is our first post-season 4 episode. We haven't had to do a non-episode discussion in a long time, since, well, before he joined up.
Yeah, this will be my first.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit interesting. But yeah, today we're going to talk about, well, season 4 in general. It's a nice way to just, I guess, transition into the hiatus.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
we're going to talk about familiar stuff before we go full-blown panic in the summer and fall.
Yeah.
But first, of course, we got some quick hits. And yes, later on in the episode, we do have fan content returning. So that will be fun. Quick hits. So let's get going on that. If you want to follow along with these and go to the links and whatnot, you can go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. So all the links and whatnot are there. So there you go. Buck has announced multiple things, including something we apparently missed last week. Oops. Finale. Blame the finale, yes. Dave Polsky, one of the writers for MLP, will be attending. They'll also have a list of vendors and merch that will appear. They'll have a stand-up comedy routine, and they have announced 2 more musical events, the Cadence Stage and the Lunar Eclipse, to add to their Summer Sun celebration. So, yeah, lots of stuff. And don't forget, they have their little free ticket thing this week. If you're trying to go, it's time to buy. So, yeah.
Stand-up comedy. That's a new one.
Apparently they've done that last year.
Huh.
Brony Can has announced that Rebecca Dart, a character designer for MLP since Season 2, will be attending. And she designed Chrysalis,
Yeah, that's a
Cadence,
good one.
Shining Armor. All those were her designs, so plus more. Galacon has announced a new project. It's called Project Glaceon.
I think that's how you pronounce that.
Yeah, because it's an acronym, so. And it, quote, aims to promote and cherish the visual art in the pony community. So there you go. Apparently it's going to be, they have cards at the Bronies for Good booth and whatnot. So that's what, you go check out their website if you want to see what the heck that's all about.
Yeah.
BronyCon has announced that storyboard artist Sabrina Alberghetti, also known as Sibsy, will be attending their convention. So, yeah.
Yay, Sibsy.
More guests for BronyCon. And on the other side of the country, in our neck of the woods, Everfree Northwest has announced that Kathy Westluck, the voice of Spike, and Mayor and a couple other voices here and there, will be attending.
Yay.
Yeah, so
Might get her
we don't begrudge
year.
her for voicing Spike. Brony Study has released the results for their How the Fandom Changed My Life study. Plus, they've opened up a post-Season 4 survey. So, want to see the results for that, go look. And if you want to also take post-Season 4 study, go take it. It's just open, so. A teaser trailer for the fan animation Fall of the Empire has released. The full animation will come out on May 24th, and I vaguely remember seeing something about this a long time ago, but
I do vaguely remember something like that.
If you happen to live in the UK, you can vote on a Rainbow Dash shirt to be made on the Truffle Shuffle blog. Go check that out UK, Rainbow Dash, if you're interested in that thing. But you can't. Well, you could, but
I'd have to fake my location.
Not really. It looks like you can just vote.
Yeah, well, I'd have to lie about location.
It's a bad thing. In other merchandise news, Hasbro is releasing 2 new Alicorn toys, Princess Sterling and Princess Goldlily. Clearly, this is a sign that everything is going down the drain and that the show is ruined forever.
Yep.
Again.
Abandoned ship. Everything's done. Burn everything down.
In reality, it's probably just 2 new toys that have absolutely no bearing on the show, just like Princess Skyla, many of the other toys, like, what was it?
The weird butterfly wing
ponies.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a whole bunch of merch that we've never seen in the show. So this is probably just going to go along with them.
So yeah, if you're panicking about this, stop. If you aren't, well, good for you. You're smarter than those who are. A new Scootaloo toy has been spotted on Taobao, and it looks like it's going to be part of the Design a Pony line, which was kicked off with that Luna way back when.
Yeah.
Which basically draw on and stuff, from what I understand. Yeah, you just draw and stuff, just put little designs and color the hair and all that stuff. That's what it looks like anyway.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Yay, Scootaloo.
It appears, though, that some stores have the Funko Applejack and Big Mac toys a bit early. They're not supposed to release for another, I believe, 2 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. I've got mine pre-ordered.
It might be worth checking out your local Hot Topic for one if you haven't pre-ordered elsewhere. Or maybe you can cancel that pre-order and go buy it.
Yeah, I think they already charge. I think Hot Topic pre-orders charge.
Yeah, they do, but you probably get your money back.
Possibly.
I don't know. Check out how see if you find it in the store and you buy it and you want. Yeah. Anyway, in non-toy merch or official, stuff. The Hub iOS app has a new game called Spike's Great Gem Challenge. It's a lot like Fruit Ninja, so go check it out if you like, and you have an iOS device that can use the app.
I do not.
Yeah, it's Fruit Ninja. Just, it's touchscreen, tap things. There you go. Covers, plus more, have been revealed for the upcoming Daring Do books on GM Barrow's Twitter. Yeah, so, just the covers. They're really nice looking. They look like the books in the show, so...
They're designed after the books in the show. They actually show on the front cover A.K. Yearling as the author, so they use that. And
they'll come in a treasure chest, which also comes with the book from Daring Don't, which was hiding the golden ring, and that will have, I believe, the Daring Do figure inside. Or actually, I think that one will actually have the other books. It's one big book.
Yeah, one big book, I think, with all 3 books in it.
Book-shaped case that carries the 3 books in it there.
Yeah.
And then so it all comes with the treasure chest. I can't remember how much it costs exactly. It's not too bad, all things considered.
I'm going to have to pick it up.
Comes out in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I already have it ordered on Amazon.
Yeah.
A preview for issue 19 of the MLP comic is up on iTunes. However, there is this little error in that they use the same page twice.
Oops.
It's supposed to be a 3-page preview, and they use page 3 first and last, so someone goofed. Now, we don't normally talk about ratings here on this podcast, but Twilight's Kingdom drew 788,000 viewers. Well, part 2 did, anyway. Still, this makes it the episode with the highest viewership in MLP history. Well, Friendship is Magic, yeah.
That's a lot of viewers.
Yes, so I believe what happened is because of how things went, for some reason, part 1 is much lower. It's like 500-something thousand. But, so part 2 got 788,000. And I think Princess Twilight and Princess Twilight Part 2 are second and third and whatnot. So,
yeah.
And I believe that the low, also it kind of shows the lowest, as also Derpy News notes, the lowest ratings on the season was on Inspiration Manifestation. I believe that was only at 300-something thousand viewers comparatively. But still, I believe this season average is higher than previous seasons. So,
yeah.
Ooh. It's getting more popular.
It's a good season. Yeah.
In Season 5 news, already, Jim Miller and Mike Vogel have said that we'll find out the names of Twilight's new castle, plus we'll get answers about the Golden Oaks Library.
Yeah, apparently there's said something about having a full episode dedicated.
Mm-hmm. A episode dedicated to, stuff like that. The library, the new castle.
Yeah, which makes me happy. I think I mentioned last week that I really wanted to see an episode dedicated to, or at least that goes over some stuff like that, so.
Yeah, so. Yeah. So, will they regrow a new library tree? What will happen? We don't know. So, that's the news for the week. Quite unusually, a little bit, not a whole lot, though.
Yeah,
not really.
About average, actually.
About average, which, usually after the season finales, pretty much nothing for a while. That's usually been the case. After the season finale, it's just pretty much nothing except talking about the season, which, hey, what do you know? That's what we're doing.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about Season 4 in general, some of the stuff you're going to have heard before, but hey, it's nice to recap sometimes. So, Season 4, it was a full season. We after Season 3 and its half length and all the controversy that came out of that, Season 4 was like a big, huge bang. That like everything was firing on full cylinders. Like, it was crazy. It was big. It was epic. And the fandom seems to have reacted as well. Well, I guess to start us off, we got to get this out of the way because I think it's the most obvious answer. What was your favorite episode?
It's actually not that obvious.
Really?
It's a tough one. I mean, of course, it's going to be one of the Rainbow Dash ones.
Oh, really? Really?
Well,
yeah.
Actually, Twilight's Kingdom that one is actually my favorite. But if you want to go do you want to include the finales? Because those are just way too obvious.
Not always.
I don't know. This one was... Yeah, the finale is definitely favorite if we're going to include those.
Yeah. We were gushing about it last week. Finale is the best episode of the season.
It was just way too epic. It's too well done not to be the favorite.
Yeah,
it makes up for it just by itself makes up for the shortcomings.
It's like one of the first times in a long time I didn't see like someone in the fandom raging. Well,
yeah,
I didn't see a large group of people raging about something in the finale.
Yeah, pretty much, I think the biggest complaints I see is just people wanting the tree to come back.
Yeah, tree to come back, or they're upset about the rainbow power designs, which people are already upset about before. So
I think they look fine.
Yeah, well, I know some people just don't like him, but that's okay. But I guess this is the one that I guess, not so obvious. We've kind of talked about in this I don't think there's been a really bad episode this entire season.
I wouldn't say we have a bad episode.
I mean, like, Spike at Your Service in season 3 was pretty awful. That was pretty bad. And, there's been also in previous seasons, there's been like Owl's Well That Ends Well, or Cutie Pox, Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well. Those are episodes that typically aren't looked upon fondly. And, yeah, this season didn't really seem to have... I mean, yes, there were definitely people who really hated certain episodes because of whatever reason, but I don't think there's any episode this season that was really, overwhelmingly hated by the fandom. But, in any case... Was there an episode you were particularly down on compared to the other episodes of the season?
Well, Inspiration Manifestation was not very... I'll always say this. I'll be the joke. It wasn't very inspiring for me.
Boo.
Yeah, I said
You're
it.
a terrible person.
So that's probably one I'll pick. Equestria Games is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was bad. I think overall the episode was better than Inspiration Manifestation, but I think it didn't live up to its hype. Okay. If you want to talk how much I wanted to like it and how much I did like it, the difference was greater with Equestria Games and Inspiration Manifestation. So, but yeah.
Personally, I would agree with him on definitely on Inspiration Manifestation. I think, but rewatching it, I'm not sure how well this aligns with how I said things before, but rewatching, I think Inspiration Manifestation is probably one of the weaker episodes. However, I would also add in, and this is probably going to get a bit of hatred from him, I would add in Flight to the Finish as one of the weaker episodes of the season. That, to me, that is kind of one of the weaker episodes as well. I kind of
like that one.
It's the highlight of that episode was the song, but...
Well, Flight to the Finish, it was... you're not going to catch that much hate from me. I liked it, but... It was a CMC episode.
Yeah, but it was a Scootaloo CMC episode that also dealt with her not being able to fly.
Yeah, so that part, I do have personal bias for it. But you're not going to catch a huge amount of flack because I can look past some of my bias.
It was kind of weak. I mean, like I said, there wasn't a Spike at Your Service this season, thankfully.
Yeah.
If there was, it's like, oh.
Well, at least we have 25 other episodes.
Yeah. But
instead of season 3 where
so
we
overall
only have
this
12.
season, like I said, not exactly bad at all. Like this is like the show staff like really pulling out all the stops, and like there wasn't a bad episode at all. And those were the weakest, and those still had some entertainment value to them. It wasn't like Spike at Your Service where it's like you can. I mean, Equestria Games is awkward and cringeworthy, but not because
it was badly written or anything like that. It was supposed to be cringeworthy.
Yeah, Spike.
But yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Spike, I was rewatching the season and just remembering old episodes and whatnot. I think a lot of people say that the problem with Spike is the writers can't write it. It's bad writing, but it's not really bad writing, I think, so much as Spike's just got a lot of bad character traits, to be honest.
Possibly,
Spike's a bit of a jerk at times. I mean, I'm watching the season and watching how he acts sometimes. He's a bit of a jerk sometimes.
Yeah, he doesn't think.
Yeah, and as another thing, I think he is the comic relief. It's Power Ponies.
Yeah,
pretty much hit the nail on the head. He is the comic relief. He is the butt monkey.
Yeah,
and it's kind of that's how he was written. I think that was how he's kind of intended to be written, and I think people don't want to accept that's his role in the. He's the sidekick. He's the butt monkey. He's the comic relief.
Yeah,
he's also a bit of the snark.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to accept that because it's ponies and everybody's special.
And people get so upset when it's like, oh, they forgot Spike again. Like I think the Hub actually tweeted something or put something on Facebook as, Rainbow is spelled out rainbows using their names instead of they said Twilight Sparkle instead of using they use the S in Twilight Sparkle for the end of the rainbows, and it's like, why don't you just use Spike, guys?
Because it's Spike?
Spike can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I honestly think it's not bad writing. It's just he's not a great character. That's not really a problem with writing. I mean, not all characters are likable, and that's kind of sometimes the point. Although Spike is supposed to be, I guess, a little likable, but still, he's got a lot like the season finale, like him being a jerk about Twilight and the Banner, him getting all mopey about being useless and power ponies. That was another thing. I'm trying to remember. There's kind of cramming all the season one day. Kind of some of them just kind of blur
You
together.
want to go just this season, or you want to start pulling the examples of him being a jerk from earlier seasons?
Oh, even earlier seasons. All's well that ends well. He gets upset about an owl, so what does he do? He starts ripping up a toy mouse and trying to make it frame an owl for, well,
Murder?
I guess murder, even though it's a mouse. And, well, owls got to eat.
We don't know how those things work in Equestria.
Owls eat. Got to eat. I mean, they kind of established carnivores, and Spikes just sometimes says things that aren't really nice. And
Or he just says things without thinking.
that, too. Sometimes
There's
he does. So it's just
Hurricane Fluttershy, when they're trying to be nice about her scores, and he just blurts it out. It's like, yeah.
the thing, he's a 10-year-old-ish kid. He's supposed to be like a 10-year-old kid. 10-year-old kids aren't exactly known for being the paragons of kindness.
Yeah.
10-year-old boys tend to be a little rude and obnoxious at times. They'll stay like that for the next 8 years or so.
Yeah. Yeah. It just gets less mature.
And we just kind of learn to,
Yeah.
we learn when to time it.
Yes.
And then there's the whole inspiration manifestation, the whole thing basically, where he's just like, oh, I'll take my word to rarity. And it's like, he just, Owlish is like,
Dude.
yeah. So Spike in general is just,
Yeah.
he's not a great character.
It's just, yeah.
And it's not really, again, it's not bad writing. It's just, that's the way his character is. And I think that's the character they've established now is, he's just a dumb 10-year-old kid-ish, 10-ish, whatever. Again, one of those ages aren't really explained. Well, no ages are revealed. It's just, it's their birthday. And we're going to casually not neglect the fact that we're not going to mention the number. And we're not going to mention.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess moving on. There's the one. How about you? We got a lot of songs. Quite a few of them.
We did have a bunch.
I mean, I think if some people had the way, we'd have a song or two every single episode, but I'm kind of glad we don't. Makes them a little more special.
Yeah.
But out of curiosity, what was your favorite song?
Favorite song
of the season?
Let's see. Heart's Strongest Horses was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to use that one.
Okay.
The lyrics were a little bit weird, but that one was pretty good. I'm not sure if it was my favorite. I'm not quite certain. Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish.
Was a good one.
I'm going to say that Make-A-Wish is actually my favorite of the season.
It's going to be a tough one between probably Make-A-Wish, Find the Music.
Yeah, Find the Music was pretty nice
and
too.
Heart's as Strong as Horses. But I think I would have to say Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish was, in my opinion, just my favorite. Just overall, even though it was pretty short, but even also hearing the extended version was really nice.
Yeah.
It's hard once you hear the extended version to kind of separate that out for the version you heard in the show.
And one thing, for Find a Music in You, it really ties in with the music in the treetops. They really... So I'd like to consider them one song.
It is kind of the whole one song.
Yeah.
Going back and watching the episode,
they're sort of
one
separate,
song.
but they kind of merge them. So yeah, but it's a really good song.
Yeah, it's a really fun one.
I think
that episode really wrapped around the song itself.
Yeah.
Overall, because going back and going back and rewatching some of this stuff, I was like, this is, some of it's like better than I remember. Some of it's a little not as great as I remember, and some of it's like different things stand out to me. But I'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, that Philly Vanilla just basically it's two songs, but it's more or less one song because they're so similar to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of making this whole episode around this song, and it works really well. It's just to say you got this quartet group, and it's just a really nice song.
It is.
But I still say Make-A-Wish is my favorite. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that song, but there's also the Goof Off song.
Yes, the Goof Off song was
that was really nice. But yeah, my Make-A-Wish I think is my absolute favorite of the season.
I will actually have to agree.
But I think, although on the other side of the spectrum, what's the weakest song?
Weakest one, that's going to be a little bit tougher to actually remember, because unlike you, I wasn't able to go and rewatch a bunch of these.
More shame on your family, man.
I know. I have things I have to do. That's a tough one because they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They were all really, really good. There's a whole bunch in Pinky's Pride.
A lot.
Really, the only ones I remember the most be Goof Off, Make-A-Wish, the Super Duper Party Pony as well, but there's a couple others I don't really remember that much in there. Glass of Water.
That's the Discord song.
The Discord song. I mean, it was great for a Discord song, but as a song goes, it was
Okay.
it was so.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I really have a least favorite. There's just kind of some that are more bland than others.
Right. You just reminded me. There's that one, like I guess, the slower song in Pinky Pride.
Pinky's Lament.
Yeah, Pinky's Lament. That was okay. I mean, I think I slammed it the first time, or when we talked about the episode, but I think I'm going to like it more.
I thought it was pretty good. It did a good job of what it was supposed to. The whole starting off depressed, but her picking herself back up.
I think that was the thing. I slammed it initially, but now I'm like, yeah, it's actually better than I said it was initially. But I will say I did have two songs in particular I wasn't too fond of, and that was Bats.
I was okay with Bats. It wasn't the greatest, but
I think for me it was just,
it.
I think there was a couple times where it kind of fell into a trap a lot of fan music actually falls into, which is got a little wordy.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it was totally fitting, which I was like, that's surprising I mean, some of these words too don't need to be there. You remove them, it works a lot better, but what do I know? I'm not a composer. But yeah, I think Bats was kind of weak. I mean, there was like, the music itself was, again, it's one of those weird things. It's like the music itself was fine, but
the lyrics are a little bit off.
Yeah, the lyrics are off.
Yeah, I know that
it's like, it was kind of weird too, because it's like, hey, we got an Applejack Fluttershy duet thing with the others joining in at times.
Yep.
And I think the other one was Flim Flam Miracle Curative Tonic.
Yep.
That one only because it's like you barely remember it exists.
I do barely remember it exists. I know it wasn't similar to.
It's very close to the Super Speedy side of Speedy 6000.
Yeah, I avoided really giving a rating on those ones just because that's really not my style of music, so I don't feel as though
I really like that song, the first one. From first Flim Sounds.
I didn't, but that's just because I don't like the style. I couldn't find anything.
I really liked that song,
it,
so I was like, and I heard, I was like, I was expecting another song, and I did, and it's like, it's okay, but I barely remember it happens.
Yeah,
it's kind of a iffy song. I mean, I remember more of the visuals that happened during the song than anything. And I think Discord has a little bit of the. Discord was more of a. It's kind of had the feeling of Major General's song.
Major Generals.
I'm pretty sure that's what. Yeah, it's the Major General. I'm a very model of a modern Major General.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
Animaniacs used it for the. I am modern example of a. I am perfect example of a cartoon individual.
Yeah, that song. That's what the Discord song felt like.
Yeah,
it's not really singing so much. It's not a lot of singing really because it's very limited range. It's extremely limited range, but
yeah, the term, and I'm going to mutilate this because it's German, but Sprechgesang is the term. Speak song, because it's more speaking the lyrics than you are actually singing them.
Yeah, so the Discord song, it's like, I actually kind of like it just because, again, it's just one of those things where I think the absurd visuals with it help a lot.
It does, but without them, it kind of...
And also the fact it's super bouncy.
Yeah, but I thought that was better.
Yeah, it might be, but I just think it was definitely one of the... But also, I just want to talk about the animation a little bit, because let's be honest, every single season this happens, the animation gets way better.
It does.
There's no doubt.
I want to say, this season added... lighting effects.
Yeah,
more lighting effects than we were used to.
There's little things I didn't notice the first time, but I noticed it again when I watched the whole season again. It's so fluid. Like, you just see these little touches, like they're moving their heads and stuff, and you just didn't see this before. There's little slight movements, which kind of everything before. I mean, if you look at a season 1 episode compared to a season 4 episode, I mean, we used to. That was one of the things that people praised the show for great animation back in season 1.
Yeah, because they would do some of those subtle little movements that
and
most people would
season 1 looks
avoid.
If you look at it compared to season 4, it looks so stiff.
Really?
Yeah,
because I know that's one of the things we praised season
1 but that's the thing, we've always praised it
these
before, but it's just they've gotten so much better because there's these little tiny, like when they're singing, like Twilight, the princess song in Twilight's Kingdom,
the Follow the Rainbow.
No, the first one.
Or You'll Play Her Part.
You'll play, yeah,
with all the princesses. Yeah.
One. There's this when Twilight's first starting the song and doing her solo. She's just using these little movements that you just didn't really see before in the show. All these little tiny movements with her head and stuff. It's like, actually, if I recall, this is a weird thing. I remember someone in Equestria Daily comments somewhere complaining it's too fluid.
Maybe he's used to incredibly low bitrate stuff and doesn't like new ones.
I don't know, but it's
like people complaining about 60 FPS.
Yeah,
it's too smooth. It looks funny.
He was complaining this animation's too fluid now. It doesn't look right.
The only time that happens is when the movements get off.
Well,
Otherwise, fluid is always a good thing.
it looks really it's like comparatively season 1 is like stiff as hell compared to season 4. But I mean, season 1, I'm not going to knock season 1 because but they've gotten so much better over time. It's like almost like the animators like putting these little touches in because they can now. Yeah. Before they didn't. Now it's like so all these.
Well, now that they've got they're getting more. Their
and the transitions between like different facial poses, like or not like where you're seeing the faces, different angles of the face when you see it. It's like the transitions have gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
I mean they're already great before, but the transitions a lot better. Just overall, just all these little things and the big things like the lighting you mentioned. It's like,
yeah, they're doing I noticed they did a lot more shading effects and stuff like that with this. We also are noticing like right in the beginning.
I mean, we've had shading effects as far back as season 2, really, but
they really amped them up.
Yeah, they've gotten better. Like now we actually have like the way they're lit up and stuff. And like there was one scene.
Go Hearts as Strong as Horses.
Yeah,
that whole scene, like the whole sunrise or sunset scene. Yeah, with all those shading, it's like wow. Yeah.
And other times where it's like there's a bright light shining and you see the outlines and they got the white glow around them because of it. And there's one scene and it's one of those things you might not notice. It's like I'm not sure if season 1 ever had to do something, but the fire swamp in Somebody to Watch Over Me, just when this columns of fire come up, you see the shadow on like Apple Bloom in her cart, you see it flickering between each, correctly as you would in real life. You'd see if it's on her right, you see the shadow on the left, all long, and it's different.
Yeah.
And it's just all these little things. It's like, wow.
That's what makes it really good.
And it's just crazy just how much. I mean, it's already great, and they've gotten phenomenally better. And I'm like, some of these stuff is like, how much of this stuff you have to like work real hard to kind of get Flash to cooperate on?
I don't have any experience with Flash itself, but
I've heard horror stories,
and Flash. I've used other Adobe products, so I can imagine.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about trying to get Flash stuff to do right. It's like I had to cheat so much, or this was 1,000 times harder than it would have been if I did a traditional animation. So it's like some of the stuff, and I remember them. What was it? Sibsy talking about it at a panel last year at Everfree. She used to talk about how sometimes they'd be given stuff, and it's like just do it, and they figured out how to do it. There was very rarely where they say we can't do this.
Yeah. So,
just the fact that what they're capable of anymore is just wow. And also, I think these little things that they put in nowadays, it's not necessarily animation, but just little tiny things in the background or whatever that you might not even notice initially. Just kind of funny looking. Like, again, Some Pony to Watch Over Me. When Applejack first realizes Apple Bloom's gone, she's freaking out. And at one point, she lifts up her bed, and there's Smarty Pants under the bed.
Yes.
Twilight's old Smarty Pants all under Apple Bloom's
because
bed.
Big Mac stole it. Why is it up in Apple Bloom's?
Maybe she took it from Big Mac. Maybe Big Mac hid it in her room. Yeah.
The nice little references here and there.
And stuff like that. And this is something I didn't notice the first time was, again, and this one, though, is a Leap of Faith. During the Flim Flam song, in that little tent, there's a pony wearing a hat with Parasprites all over it.
Yes.
I never noticed it the first time. This time
it was like...
Just those little things you just don't might not notice the first time around, but after another viewing, or if you're looking for weird animation errors or something, you'll see them. It's like, wow, these are just little things here and there. Just I love that, and I like they're adding these little things here and there.
Yep, that's great,
man. And just sometimes you just don't even notice. Sometimes you just don't even notice someone, and the next time it's like, whoa, or like
I know how that goes.
Well, which was it? The Inspiration Manifestation. Remember the kid's birthday party? There was the mariachi band or whatever, or Sal band.
Octavia shows
they appeared earlier in the series.
Really?
Yeah, in the season. I can't remember which episode it was, but they actually appeared briefly in another episode.
Huh.
I'm trying to remember which one it was, and now it's going to drive me crazy. But I know they appeared briefly, and I believe it might have actually been, I want to say in the late teens somewhere. Maybe it was. No, it wasn't that one. I don't know. Yeah, it's just overall this season was amazing. And just little things, big thing, little things like the Smarty Pants style, big things like the fight between Twilight and T-Rex.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing.
That was massive.
Just the fact that they were setting up, it was like from watching it, they were setting up from the get-go for to change everything. And you just sometimes you're seeing stuff that retroactively is totally see it differently just because you know what happens next.
Yep.
Like Twilight talking about the books in Traja being so special, and now a lot of them are probably gone.
Yep. All of them got blown up.
Or even Discord's meddling with Three's a Crowd. You see it a little bit differently now. Because it's his whole friendship test. But he was obviously trying to tick Twilight off or ruin her day.
Yeah.
Or the fact that Twilight and Cadence are told both. Cadence is just a huge nerd of Kate as Twilight. Because of that, it's like, oh, look, Star Swirl's the candle he uses. Like, Cadence is the one naming it off, not Twilight. And I just like these little touches here and there. It's like, hey, but you know, another character a character I kind of wants to come back, and I don't know how they'll do it. Harshwinny. Now that the Question game's over, she's kind of can't come back, and I know people like her.
Yeah.
And she had a fairly major role, let's be honest. So I know people like her, so it's like it'd be interesting to see if they could bring her back at all.
It'll be tough. They'd have to, I don't know.
They'd have to figure out some way. Twilight's administrative assistant.
Yeah, she's got 6 friends for that.
They're not. You're gonna call them so friends are secretaries or something.
No, don't. No.
Well,
that's what Spike is for.
Oh.
We'll just use Spike.
Yeah, Spike. I'd rather write him out of the show. Let's replace Spike with Harshwinny. Everyone will be happy.
Not everyone.
And of course, are we going to see Discord again? Probably. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's another one. What about Daring Do? A.K. Yearning. Will we ever see her again? That would be nice.
Yeah. They could probably make her show up. I mean, she'd probably be easier to have Daring Do show up than Harshwinny.
Yeah. You never know, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if they could do anything to bring Harshwinny back, and I'm trying to, without making it weird and contrived, but you never know.
You never know.
I'm not a writer of the show.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of future plans they have in season 5 or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more events that need that kind of a person in them.
Mm-hmm. And I also like they're willing to tackle topics that we've never tackled before. Scootaloo's unable to fly.
I'd like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean they actually touched on that.
They did touch on it.
They didn't totally resolve it yet, but it's just they confirmed it's been a theory for a long time, and it's been confirmed totally.
Yeah.
Sweetie Belle using magic for the first time. It's like all these things, they're willing to change things up just a little bit. Dash is basically in the Wonderbolts now. It's reserves. But that kind of implies if another Wonderbolt, that would imply that if another Wonderbolt for some reason can't fly during a show, she's up.
Maybe. I don't know how the reserves
work.
No,
it depends. But the reserves kind of makes it sound like it's either a B team or it's, hey, you're like an understudy.
Yeah, I would think it's probably closer to an understudy because they're not going to throw. I mean, she hasn't done any official Wonderbolts training. So
if it's an understudy, if that means it, well, you think if you become a reserve, you kind of are officially kind of, hey, okay, here's all our routines and stuff. Learn them, know them, live them.
You go through official training. Remember,
she also went to the Wonderbolt Academy though, so that would be part of it.
Yeah, but that's
part of the official training at least. But still, I mean, if you're in the reserves, it probably means you're already pretty much knowing how to fly and everything, all the tricks and stuff. So they'd probably just give her a handbook like this is what you'd be expected to do as a Wonderbolt.
Yeah, maybe, but
and so probably there's practices, no doubt.
Yeah,
with the other reserve members, but that would mean she knows the drills, she knows the routines if she's doing all this stuff. If she's in the so
yeah, I would expect her to go something closer. Maybe not exact. It can't be exact, but something like boot camp. Remember, Wonderbolts are military.
I know, but
based.
I'm just saying that if she's in the reserves, I would expect.
Yeah, because they haven't said she's in the reserves, but they don't
say what that means. But I would expect the reserves either means you're a B team, or you are basically there as a reserve for if for some reason another Wonderbolt on the main team can't fly.
Yeah.
So that would be she's a temporary replacement. If he's sick or he broke his wing or something, you're up.
Apparently he knows how to break his wings.
That'd be fun. Have an episode about her being nerd. Oh gosh, I'm the first Wonderbolt show where I'm actually performing.
Oh god. Panic! She does get nervous. We know that from the Best Young Flyers competition.
Oh, another big thing. Pinky and Applejack related, possibly.
Maybe.
Likely.
We don't know.
We don't know, but they kind of heavily implied it.
Yeah.
Especially with the stacks. Remember that?
Yes, the stacks. That was...
And it's like those. Yeah, Pinky pulls something from bottom of the stack, all stays upright. Goldie pulls something from bottom of the stack, all stays upright. It's like genetics at work possibly. And then, of course, more of Pinky's family, Maud, which means Maud is also related to Applejack.
Yeah, that's a rabbit trail to go
it's
down.
It's kind of weird though. I think a lot of people. It's one of those weird things. I think I would have expected more people to not like that episode just because it's not the sisters we wanted. But a lot of people, I think, because of how Maud was in the episode,
people really took to Maud.
Yeah,
really,
because
really
of that,
liked her.
Because of how they wrote her, everyone was totally fine with it. It's not marble and limestone.
Yeah.
So
Inky and Blinky.
Stop that. I'm going to drill the official names in your head. Because you'll be screaming anguish when they come on, if they ever come on and they aren't referred to as Inky and Blinky.
You couldn't call them that anyway if they wanted to.
Yeah. They couldn't. But yeah, it's just they're establishing more familial stuff and just new things like the Breezies in general. Just that's new. That's world building.
Well, it depends on how you call new. I mean, they were referencing
the
earlier generations. Yes.
They're world building. They're expanding. They're set up now for a more global thing.
Yes, and I mentioned that last week.
That was a
really
season.
Want to see that.
That's another thing. What about the story arc? How do you think overall they handled that story arc?
The overarching for season 4?
Yeah.
I think they did it very, very well. Akin to season 1's Gala thing, but much better.
I'd say, for season 1 was kind of this is kind of a thing, but
they just kind of referenced it, and every now and then they pointed to it. But this one was multiple times. They started it out with the pilot to set up the plot line, and then at least 5 points with the key episodes, and made direct references, and then with the finale.
I think, for all things considered, I mean, there's only so much they can do because the show is, but I think they actually did a pretty good job overall. I mean, each one was like, they didn't fall in the trap of each episode feels exactly the same.
Yeah.
Each one was a little bit different, and how they realized it, and just the implications and all this stuff was a little bit different. And I think that was a good thing. I mean, they just kind of popped it on us, like in Brady Takes Manhattan. They just kind of popped it. It's like, everyone's like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah, that was...
I mean, we already knew
previous indication.
Set up, and it's like, oh, that's got to be important, right?
Yeah. I think we figured out pretty darn quickly that those were keys.
Yeah, we figured out, okay, that's what's happening. So, yeah, overall, I think I actually hope this is a sign in the future they're going to go maybe a little more in-depth story arcs, I hope.
Yes, I really want that. I
want
like
more
my
stuff.
Story arcs.
I mean, it's all tied in, including at the end. I mean, I think of all the key episodes, I think probably Applejack was actually probably the weakest.
I'll have to agree with you there.
Yeah, Leap of Faith wasn't the best. I mean, it was still a better episode than a lot of the other ones, and it was still a pretty okay episode in its own right. But I think of the key episodes, it's probably the weakest of the 6, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, you know which one's the best one.
Yeah.
Because it's the finale. And
the finale is a key episode, technically, so I have to say that one was the best.
Yeah.
But if you want to say not the
of course,
finale,
you also got Return of Derpy, which was a big deal to a lot of people.
Yes, it was.
And that happened in a key episode.
And happened in Dash's key episode, though.
Overshadowed.
Got overshadowed, darn it.
Yeah. So, she returned. She came back. She's back for real.
And she kept making, after that episode, she kept making fairly forward
Leap of Faith again
cameos.
In the audience thing.
Yeah.
She appeared in the finale very blatantly.
She showed up
twice
in Equestria Games, too.
Yes. She showed up there. I know there's a couple other places she showed up throughout the season, but those are much more minor, but those are the more blatant, like, I'm here.
Yep.
So, overall, best season or not?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just season 2 had been, like, I guess the best season. For me, it was kind of by default just because Lesson 0 was there.
Yeah.
So, season 4 was definitely, I think, the best season we've had overall. I mean, there wasn't any super bad, weak episodes. There wasn't anything really bad about it. I mean, some people will say, oh, Pinky's portrayal in Philly Vanilli was pretty bad, but that was pretty much in character. So, okay. Yeah, but that was in character, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, watching again, I was pretty much in character. She just kind of got so absorbed in her little speech that she kind of forgot who she was talking to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Overall, I'd say there's little minor hiccups, just like every episode. There's little minor hiccups here and there, but overall, it was the best episode, and I think that's really all we can talk about for that. There's not much more we can go in.
Yeah. Not that much.
Yeah. I guess that's it for season 4 wrap stuff. So, we're not done though.
Nope.
We said that it would come back, and it has in fact come back. We got some fan content. First,
Yep.
we got some music, and that means I got to hand it over to this guy over here, Alcatraz.
Yeah. I actually was a little bit surprised this week when I went to select music. There wasn't a whole bunch to look at, but all the stuff that I did, there was a whole bunch of really good ones. But I narrowed it down to 3 that I liked the most. And started out with, we will go with Pony Firestone's remix of Let the Rainbow Remind You.
Makes us rare. We have a light that shines within us that we were always meant to share. And when we come together, combine the light that shines within, there is nothing we can't do. There is no battle.
One of a couple remixes. I thought this one was pretty darn good. Pony Firestone's pretty good with these remixes. So, what did you think?
This one was actually pretty good too. This was the song itself. That was, I think, of the 2 finale songs, it was the lesser of the 2, but still, I think this guy did a pretty good job of keeping it faithful to the original song while kind of putting a little bit of a spin to it. Definitely just, I think, although it's kind of still kind of a basic remix, if anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic. It's not really let's go crazy and really change it up. But
I probably won't be seeing many of those till probably like next week.
Give it another week.
give it another. I mean, we're only 1 week out from the episode,
Only
so
week.
we had a little bit of time.
No, like
to
those
make
times
these.
where it's like, oh, the remix is showing up within hours.
Yeah,
Those are
usually
a
that's
little
when they
scary.
release the songs leak early.
Yeah, so
But-
yeah, that was a pretty good one. I mean, I definitely like listening to it, but yeah, it's kind of a basic remix.
Yeah. The next one I have is I Thought We Were Friends by Ignapon. It's an interesting instrumental. It's apparently based off of Pinkie Pie, but definitely a different way of doing this. What do you think?
Well, based on the title and the video, it was supposed to be kind of sad, but at the weird time, that's weird thing where it's kind of at the same time upbeat. Which
Yes.
What?
It's weird, but I do actually.
I think it's
kinda
kind
like
of
those.
looking like, based on that stuff, it's almost like he's inspired by Party of One.
Yeah,
so-
well, they used the image from Party
Yeah.
of One for the
So,
cover art.
which was that weird upbeat depression that Pinky had, which was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's what kind of he was going for. I'm not sure if he totally hit that, but yeah, it's that weird, it's down but up. It's
It is.
bipolar.
Yes, it's weird. I
Oh, it's
do
a name
actually
for that
enjoy
now.
those.
Whatever.
I do enjoy those songs where like this, where it can
Yeah.
kind of get two contrasting things.
It's
but
really
still makes
interesting.
them
I actually
together.
did like I liked listening to it, but and I'm not sure if his goal was to have that weird unsettlingness or something. I'm not sure. I'm not in his head. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I don't know. But if he was kind of intended to kind of be unsettling about it, it kind of failed. But it's still a really enjoyable song.
Yeah. And the last one I have is another instrumental called Tree of Harmony by Pony 9. This is a remix, actually. one's it's a bit of a progressive, slightly orchestral feel. It's a remix of someone else's song. I did really enjoy this one, and this actually gave me a little bit of a feel from the Day After Tomorrow. If you ever seen that movie, that's the music they use in that. That's what it reminded me of. Now,
I'm not sure
you can say whatever you want about the movie. The music was good.
But I don't know about this one. I liked it, but at the same time, it's weird because I was listening to it. I thought for a second it might have been a remix of background music from the show, but apparently it's not. So it kind of sounds like it's a remix of the background music, but I think it's not
inspired by. I'd have to double check.
Yeah, but that's what it sounds like because they had a picture of the Tree of Harmony, of course, and yeah, it's just. Yeah, it kind of has a kind of a hard edge to it, which is kind of fits with the whole crystalline aesthetic, which is kind of interesting. It's I think, it's also an instrumental, like you said, and I think you said.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think between the two instrumentals, though, I thought We Were Friends better, but this is still a pretty nice little instrumental, so I definitely still give it a listen at least, and yeah.
That's the music I have.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All that music. And you got to hear me talk again. Oh, no. Because I got some fanfics, and I got 2 fanfics again. Except there's a reason I have 2. And that's because, in a weird coincidence, these 2 came out within days of each other and have almost identical plot lines.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
So I'm going to kind of talk about them together. So this is going to be a little bit different than usual. And first one is called Instability by Ekin. And the second one is called Closed Time-Like Curve by Arania. And they both have almost identical ideas stemming, and it's strange and also Ekin, I've featured a fic from probably him before, and it's Hard Reset if you remember that one. So it's a bit darker. It's between the two, it's a slightly darker one.
It is,
and basically both of them involves time travel and T-Rex, and basically it's a kind of a desperate. Twilight's in a desperate ploy it's a desperate situation, T-Rex conquering, and it's obviously different from the finale.
Yes.
And, Twilight Twilight and others are trying to find a way to stop T-Rex, and they eventually stumble across the idea of time travel. And I really can't go beyond that without actually completely spoiling it. And it's just, they caught my eye, and I was like, I don't know. Well, and I was like, you know what? This is the post-season 4 episode. Let's go ahead and talk about it on a fix talk inspired by season 4. I'm just curious, though, what did you think of them overall?
It was definitely an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually prefer Closed Time-Like Curve.
Mm-hmm. The lighter one?
The lighter one.
Mm-hmm.
It had a little bit more... It was a little bit longer, too.
Yeah, not by much.
Not by a huge amount. They're both relatively short.
Yeah, they're both. Let's see.
But the first one's 1,500 words. The second one's 23 or something like that.
Yeah, the first one is 1,500, and the second one, the second one's only just shy of. It's just over 2,100. So
yeah,
it's not really much of a difference. 600 words is actually not a lot.
It's not, but I think I like that one a little bit better. I think it actually ties back in. It works with the.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you. This first one, I was like, that's why I was not sure first until I discovered the second Closed Time-Like Curve. I wasn't sure about, because, Instability has a couple things like, it felt a little more forced.
It did. That's a little bit improbable.
I mean, no knocks against the author, because I really loved Hard Reset.
Yeah.
But, it just felt a little more forced and kind of like you had to really kind of fiddle to get it to work with your idea. But the other one I think has a couple mistakes, kind of a little continuity, like, hey, wait a minute. But there's one thing is like, hey, wait a minute. But otherwise, I think overall though, I think the second one, the Closed Time-Like Curve, is the better.
Yes.
Of better execution of this idea. But yeah, I would. It's definitely not a knock against the first one. I think I would definitely suggest checking both out and come to your own conclusion.
Yes.
It's just I'm not sure. I don't know if Closed Time-Like Curve was inspired by Instability or not, because a commenter pointed out, hey, this sounds a lot like another fic I read. So I don't know if he kind of ripped the idea or if just came to it independently, which is very much possible. You see that all the time. I've seen fics with the exact same idea pop up at the same day. It
happens outside of fics. We have Leibniz and Newton both coming up with calculus.
Yeah. Maybe it's time travel.
No. Oh god, no.
Oh god, I'm going meta.
I think Leibniz did base his idea off of some of Newton's
I don't remember.
notes.
That's not here for there. Here.
But yes.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, I would definitely agree. The second closed time-like curve is the better of the two, but definitely read them both and come to your own conclusions. Instability is a little bit darker.
Yeah.
So if that's more your cup of tea, and by the way, I found out because of these stories. Hey, T-Rex now has a tag on FimFiction.
Yay.
So, yeah, if you need a
Easy
T-Rex
to
tag
search.
on your story, or you're looking for stories with T-Rex, there you go. It's added, and people will probably slowly start adding them into their stories. Woo! So, yeah, that's it. And that is it for fan content, which means that is it for the episode in general.
Yay. There.
If you want to, listen to this episode
I'm
and
already
others,
listening to this episode.
yeah. If you want to listen to this episode again for some reason, or you want to know where the other episodes are, pony411.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. All our episodes are on there. Download. And if you want to go directly to your iPod or whatever, iTunes, search for us, Pony411. You can subscribe and download automatically every week, all that stuff when we show up. YouTube.com/Pony411. All our episodes are uploaded there, video format, or if streaming, if you just don't want to download it at all. Of course, you can do that at the other sites, but hey, whatever. Maybe you just want to have it in your YouTube history, just so you remember. You can also listen to us on Ponyville FM. That's ponyvillefm.com. We're on there for Talk Tuesdays every night, Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to contact us, you can email us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. That's, comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, whatever, hatred, I guess. I'm not going to probably accept it too much, but hey.
Hey, send us stuff.
Yeah, send, emails. We like messages. You can also follow us on Twitter. We're at Pony411. That's where episodes show up for usually first. That's the first word is bam, right there. So, yeah, and sometimes stupid jokes, if you like stupid jokes.
Everyone loves stupid jokes.
Yeah. You can also like us on Facebook, /Pony411. What do you know?
What do you know?
Yeah, so, again, episodes show up there. Like us, you can watch it, all that stuff. Yeah. And personal Twitters, I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alca7raz with an underscore at the beginning and end, and a 7 instead of a T. Yep. So, yeah, that's it for this episode. Next week will be episode 56. Not sure what we're doing yet, but we'll figure it out before then.
Yep.
And don't forget, though, please pony responsibly. Bye.